that it's there. In my case, at least, I think the idea of a higher power, as in source, God, the universe, the intelligent being that understands and knows and has created this reality that we're all extensions of. I think there's a certain level of surrendering to that unknown and faith that allows us to have a more well-rounded perspective on reality, because I feel like a lot of us are really hyper-focused on science and put scientists on a pedestal, just like how back then when religion was used to control people, they put priests on a pedestal, they put religion on a pedestal, on God, and where did that lead to? A lot of people dying. A lot of scientists and people who are discovering more about reality just being killed. And I feel like we're kind of experiencing the pendulum effect of what happened when religion was a dogmatic thing in the past, and now science has become its own religion. And I feel like we overemphasize on science and what we can break down with our five senses, and anything that is beyond that is either beyond our five senses, what we can sense is either pseudoscience or just kind of just shoved off to the side, not really taken seriously. But I feel like that's only some of scientists though. Some other scientists are genuinely, looking for the answers. And but the thing is, like, so many scientists, doctors, people in the field, their careers are dependent on the information that has been, in the textbooks. Like, they go by the book, and they have to go by the book because their careers depend on it. But that severely limits us and our potential and our perception of reality. Beliefs, reality, like, we're always discovering more and more. There's always more to discover. We're never going to hit a point where it's like, we're done, we figured it out. At least I don't think so. Consciousness is ever expanding and ever growing, and consciousness's innate urge is to expand, is to grow, is to experience. And when that is being withheld, when that is being restricted, we feel, what's the word? Part of me wants to say pain, but it's like something else. It's like just being in your comfort zone for too long is just gives you a sense of dissatisfaction and boredom. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, the more I've surrendered... Okay, wait, before I even say that, I was raised a Buddhist, but I didn't really understand what that meant. We kind of just... It was more of just a social thing, like go to temple every now and then. But then I delved into Eastern religion, philosophy and stuff, and I found it like true and interesting, fascinating, and definitely a part of me that still resonates with a lot of the principles in Eastern philosophy. But I always felt like there was something missing. So, I don't know. I looked to science, and I used to love science. I still do love science. I was really pretty good at it in school and stuff. Okay, so some person's license plate just says Cosmos on it. And then I was an atheist for some time in high school. I didn't believe in God, didn't believe any of that, and I thought the Bible was bullshit. And then, I became more agnostic as I delved more into spiritual principles and that sort of thing. And now I believe in God or source, this higher power, my higher self, whatever you want to call it, the universe. Just so much more, because just so many signs and synchronicities that lead me to believe that there is something in this intelligence operating behind the scenes. And the more you pay attention to that, or maybe open yourself up to that idea a little bit more, the more synchronicities do start occurring to you. And what I mean by that is these coincidences that seem so specific, seem like they're orchestrated just for you. And it's like some synchronicities are just too perfect, which leads me to believe that there is an intelligence operating behind the scenes, behind this reality. And perhaps it's me and my projection of my consciousness on reality. I'm sure that's a part of it, but I feel like we depend so much on science and control and planning things out and making sure things go our way, and if they don't go our way, then something is wrong, and we have to like make sure we're safe and secure, but that like constricts us, it restricts us. And I feel like at this point in time, more and more people are bridging the two, science and spirituality. I think they're yin and yang. They need each other. And if the more we bridge yin and yang, spirituality and science, the more powerful, well-rounded beings we become. Because there's a level of surrendering and the level of control that you need to operate the most effectively in life. And that's the balance between these two forces, these two concepts. And the more I've just, surrender as in, I have a general idea of what I want, where I want to be, who I want to become. But the steps in which I take to get there, they're more just vague. And I know what what feels good in my heart is to express myself, play the guitar, be with my friends, have fun, be creative, clean, just everyday little things that add up, that make me feel good. Do yoga, meditate, all these little things. There's no big, grand scale thing that I'm doing right now in my life. It's just, I'm just living every moment, to the fullest, as much as I can. And I feel like people kind of latch onto the idea of, one day I'll do this big thing. But it's about the little baby steps. It's all baby steps. And it's about doing what you genuinely enjoy doing, that you love. And the more you tap into that, the more you do that, the more your life just unfolds in a beautiful, harmonious way that's akin to flowers blooming in the spring. No one needs to tell them. They don't have to think about blooming. They just do. The seasons change automatically because it's intrinsic. It's nature. Nature knows. Nature understands. And maybe that's what I mean when I say God and source. It's nature. And it's part of our nature to grow and expand and express. And we live in a society where it's that is very restricted. Some parts more than others. I live in a place that is, I'm so blessed to be living in, Massachusetts, where it's free, more relatively free. More so than a lot of places. But I guess what I'm trying to say is the importance of balancing both yin and yang, both surrendering and control, having a plan, but also being loose about it, not being so rigid about it. If something goes wrong or not according to plan, move with it, flow with it, and there's a reason why something isn't going as planned. It's for you to learn from. It's always, everything is a learning experience. And yeah, before I ramble on too long, I'm gonna stop this video now. So thanks for listening.